everybody, and welcome to Coffee with my beautiful friend Jeannie. We are co-creators of the organization Bnow, the Beautiful Network of Women, which we started in 2017 because we wanted to bring like-minded women who know that we can heal this world with love together. And it expands and it expands and it expands. Jeannie's right now recovering from a major operation. So I'm very grateful that she's able to join us today. Thank you for that, Jeannie.
Thank you for making, and here's the cool thing. Tomorrow, and of course this will air after this has already happened, but tomorrow is your first day of your musical Pearl, which is being staged in San Angelo at the university. And, we always have something going on, don't we?
We do.
I love what you're doing, and especially about the musical Pearl. And we will talk about that on another.
Yeah, we'll do it after the fact. We've got 7 shows coming up, and I've learned a lot. But what's so interesting, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is that this is a divine project that God wants to be on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we talk about things that don't get talked about, but we'll do that another show. Today we are talking about not saying things to people because we're afraid of hurting their feelings. And that's not healthy. There's always a way to present, let's see, what would we call it? Something that can improve in somebody's life or something that they just might not see themselves. For instance, there are people in the play that are falling short on what they need to do. And
you mean the actors?
Not just the actor, tech.
All tech and stuff. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And it's the university, and we've got kids. Mm-hmm. So the main thing that I'm learning, which doesn't happen in a professional setting, is we don't want to hurt the kids' feelings.
Right.
But then do we really help the kids in growing? Because there's always a way to present something to somebody without making them feel bad. And I think the way to do that, Jeannie, is to first focus on what they're very good at.
That's right.
Because the world is always, always, always criticizing. And we're in a place right now, especially for women, that we don't feel our value. A lot of people feel their value with how much money they make. Okay, so that's the starters. A lot of men feel that way. Their position, how much money they make, what they're able to go buy, that type of thing. We don't see our value for what we bring to the table a lot of times. And so one thing that comes to mind, I heard this one time: we wash the floor, we do the laundry, we keep up the house, we cook the meals, we take care of the children, we do the gardening, etc., etc., etc. When does anybody come home and say, "Oh, look at how clean the floor is. I love you so much for washing the floor. Look at our clean kitchen." And so in that respect, women have learned how to do without expecting appreciation. What we do here is, where's my dinner? I don't have clean underwear. So I actually had to bring that to my husband's attention. I said, for everything that you're finding you're lacking, or that I haven't done well for you, or something that you expect me to do I didn't do, you need to give me 3 things that I did do for you, because I can give you a big old list of all the things that I did do for you today. But we typically come and say, this isn't done, or this isn't done, or why hasn't this happened, and this kind of thing, and why didn't you, and then and that kind of thing happens. And our kids do it, our husbands do it, our family does it, sometimes our friends do it, right? And just this expectation. And you're doing and you're going, and you're doing and you're going. And, one thing I want to say about you especially. I don't know how, if people understand how hard you work at putting these beautiful retreats together that have absolutely transformed people. And I'm going to edit a video into this talk about Lady Anne at our retreat. I sent it to you. I saw her the other day. The girls, the Power of Eight girls, did Reiki on her. From that moment, she was free of pain. She's lost 42 pounds. You won't, I didn't even hardly recognize her.
She's fabulous. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was with love and understanding energy. And that happened for Lady Anne because you put this retreat together. You put so much thought into that. And I think at Bnow, we need to really show appreciation for each other as women. So I've said what I want to say. You take it away, Judy.
No. And when you were talking about like making sure that you point out to these actors, these kids, you know, what they're doing well, and then kind of bring up to adjust it, not hurt their feelings, but to help. Mary Kay Ash, who owned Mary Kay Cosmetics, was brilliant at this. And she, of course, worked mainly with women, you know, selling the cosmetics. And she said that if she had to reprimand somebody, she would always sandwich it between two big slabs of praise, pull them into the office, and she would say, I got to tell you, you are doing this, and this, and I am so impressed. And it was sincere. Right. You know, it was not, it wasn't just like blowing smoke. It was sincere. And then she said, would go into, you know, if you would adjust this, whatever, I really do believe you can be more successful, happier with your time management, or whatever it is. And then slap another big slab of praise onto the end of it and just say, you know, the world is your oyster. You can do and have anything you want, blah, blah, blah. And that was her whole thing. So how do we do that in our own life? And you talked about like the beautiful network of women. You know, you and I work so beautifully together because I'm the nuts and bolts. I find the place. I recruit the speakers and the women. I find, you know, people to serve us food. No. But you bring the color and the music.
I'm
and
the artist, fairy.
You just bring all of that to us. And, you know, it's perfect because, you know, we're not trying to get in the other person's lane, but we're still going the same direction, which is great. Speaking of which, I have reached out again to the people who own the Trees cabins here in Junction about doing our next Bnow retreat in January of 2024. So it's about 7 months from now. On the Thursday, the 11th through Friday, the 15th. It's actually a 5-day, 4-night over Martin Luther King. But what is impressed on my heart, because like when we did the retreat, it was just a 3-day, 2-night in Nacogdoches at the Tall Timbers in January, which was lovely. It was lovely, but we need more time together. But we had called that the Refresh and Renew retreat because it was at the beginning of the year. And we were like, okay, that's what we need to do is refresh and renew. And we did. But it occurred to me, Cindy, and I mentioned this to you, is that we have had, like Lady Anna and you and me and Misty and other, you know, Lillian and all these people, is that I want to title this retreat, Bnow Testifies. What's been going on in your life? What has changed? We've had people, I mean, we had this wonderful woman who came and was just fabulous. And when she went to the Bnow retreat in September, and she was in an unhappy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she left and got a divorce, which was not actually, I mean, it was actually kind of predicated by her husband, you know, but you don't know what's going to happen. I'm not telling you come and get a divorce. No.
But she eliminated, she had courage, the courage.
She's so happy. Yeah, she saw herself for who she was. And she was like, why am I putting up with this nonsense? you know. So, but we have had people who have started businesses and people like our two women who are working with Misty and who have found their wings and they are learning how to take control over this whole new business of telecommunications. They're traveling around. So we're going to do Bnow Testifies. Mm-hmm. So I'm just telling people, just kind of, I have to nail down the place, make sure that we have it, and this is a holiday weekend right now, so I can't get a hold of the people I need to. But you know what? Let's look forward to how we can say things to people. We don't hurt their feelings. We just tell them, look, here's what I see in you. You're wonderful. You're great. And sometimes we're like, oh, no, not me. It was like, yeah, you. So, I think this is a whole way of reaching out to people in our lives, male, female, whatever.
I think what the thing that came to mind with me to soften that you're not doing this right, or you should do it this way, that kind of thing, right? Is to understand that this is a team effort and everybody has a component in that team effort. And so even if you want to expand that to humanity, we're a big team. We're a big team. And when you recognize that there is a weak link, and we've all experienced that, a loose screw that it affects the entire machine, right? That type of thing. And just to say, we need to improve on this, or we have an issue here that I know you can fix, or maybe it isn't your thing. For instance, maybe your talent isn't really in dancing, and because you're not following, you're not in step, that kind of thing, but you do this very well. Mm-hmm. So why don't we put you up here and let the people who dance do this?
Yeah, play with the strengths.
Right, exactly. But we really need you for this, and you're doing this well, that kind of thing. But what I'm learning, especially with the university, is that they don't want to hurt the kids' feelings, right? Oh, cool. But how can you grow? How can you learn? How can you learn how to accept when somebody is making a suggestion to you, to open yourself up to that suggestion because there's some wisdom there, right? And not worry about getting hurt feelings. And that kind of thing is an emotional disease that happens throughout our whole society right now, is people worried about hurting people's feelings. And we have to understand that we need to find our tribe. We have to find our strengths. So not in that order. You find your strengths. You find out who you are, what excites you, that type of thing. Then go find your tribe. And every tribe has its place and has the right to have their own rules. We live on a planet where God's intention was for us to enjoy this beautiful planet in harmony with each other. So the trees don't interfere with the cactus, who don't interfere with the flowers, you see? And human beings are the same way. The cactus, the tree isn't saying, ew, you're prickly, you're a cactus, and the cactus isn't saying, well, you're just too different, I mean, it just doesn't happen that way. We don't do that with our own humanity. We say,
well, the other thing is too, I'm not in charge of anybody else's feelings.
Exactly.
I'm not. And if they choose to get their feelings hurt, I'm sorry, but I will never do it on purpose.
I have to tell you something that's so funny.
Okay.
This is so adorable. So like I told you, I went to every one of these actors and I took like a minute or two video. Tell me about your experience, what your character is, what you like about the show and all that, right? So this one kid who, he doesn't have any speaking parts. He's a dancer. He's a cowboy and he plays part of a dancer. And so he says, I'm the only one that has autism in this whole play. I have Asperger's. You can tell me you love me and I won't care. You can tell me you hate me and I won't care. He said, but dancing in a musical is on my bucket list, which I found so cute because he's only like 20 years old. Your bucket list, got a bucket list. He said something I always wanted to do. Isn't that precious?
Yeah. You know what? We're led to when we are open and when we are paying attention, which we talked about last week, is paying attention is like, you know what? When we are, everything works out. And if our heart is pure, if our heart is open to other people, we don't have to worry about hurting their feelings because we're going heart to heart. And that makes a huge difference. Anyhow, I love talking with you, my friend. I'm so glad we're back doing these again. I know you're super busy. I'm been busy trying to get well, but we're doing well.
You're staying busy. You texted me day before yesterday and said, "Okay, this is what we're going to do in the next retreat." I said, "Jeannie,
do you have a pause or an off button?" And I went, "No, I don't."
I love you so much.
I love you. We'll talk soon. Beautifulnetworkofwomen.com. Check us out, people.
Yes,
Okay.